This is breaking news from Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Mayor Adams indicted.
The federal government intends to charge me with crimes.
New York's 110th mayor, the first sitting mayor to face criminal charges after nearly a year under the cloud of federal investigations.
The feds took 2 phones and an iPad.
The feds are investigating whether Adams' campaign received illegal donations from the Turkish government.
Whether Mayor Adams received upgrades when flying on Turkish airlines.
The exact charges still unknown.
There could be any number of plausible charges.
But the fallout is already swift.
I think the right thing for him to do is step down.
We need to move forward, and we need to move forward now.
Mounting calls overnight for his resignation, but the mayor remaining defiant.
You elected me to lead this city, and lead it I will.
And this isn't over. The mayor facing more investigations as key members of his administration resign. The controversy swirling over City Hall.
So many questions remain. What charges is Adams facing? And does he have the ability to continue to lead the nation's largest city?
Eyewitness News walking you through how we got here, what we know at this hour, and what comes next. Good morning on this busy Thursday, and we are following the breaking news of the day. It's September 26th. I'm Mike Marza.
I'm Shirlene Ellicott. We're also monitoring breaking traffic news, a fiery wrong-way crash on Route 17 in Goshen. And we are tracking Hurricane Helene and a chance for rain here at home.
But we begin with this historic federal indictment of New York City Mayor Adams. We don't know the exact charges yet, but prosecutors are expected to announce additional details during a news conference set for hours from now.
Last night, the mayor huddled with his advisors, his former chief of staff seen exiting Gracie Mansion.
Despite growing calls for his resignation, Mayor Adams showing no indication he plans to step down.
Our team of reporters has all angles covered, beginning with Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate live at Gracie Mansion. Phil?
Yeah, Shirlene, Mayor Adams spent the night at Gracie Mansion, where there's much movement outside of right now. This as he becomes the first sitting mayor in New York City history to be indicted. Well, this after a federal probe took a look at donations made to his 2021 mayoral campaign. Now, right now, those charges are still unclear, but the mayor has been under investigation for quite some time under the microscope by federal authorities for possible corruption for nearly a year, which all started with questions about illegal contributions from the Turkish government, allegedly in exchange for pressuring the fire department to approve a new high-rise office building near the United Nations. Now, in November, FBI agents had stopped the mayor outside of an event and seized his electronic devices. Then in July, prosecutors subpoenaed the mayor as part of the campaign donation corruption probe. And days ago, we reported that the investigation expanded. Now, last night, Adams was in Gracie Mansion meeting with advisors. In a recorded video statement, the mayor continues to deny any wrongdoing. We spoke with Frank Carone, a longtime friend of Adams and his former chief of staff. Let's take a listen.
He deserves his day in court, and he'll have it. We have one mayor who's elected. It's Eric Adams.
I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty.
And moments ago, we just saw about 5 people walk into Gracie Mansion, a very active scene right now. Now, we do believe that the mayor received a summons to appear in court. Now, at some point this afternoon, we expect to hear from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Now, at some point then, those charges could be revealed. Well, as for when we could see the mayor, when next we'll see the mayor, well, that's still unknown, as his public schedule remains clear. We're live outside of Gracie Mansion this morning. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
So many developments this morning, Phil. Thank you. We've been reporting about several different investigations surrounding the mayor and his inner circle that have led to a flurry of subpoenas and resignations. Dan Croth has been following and digging deeper for us live outside of federal court in Lower Manhattan. So, Dan, what do we know about where things stand this morning?
Well, Mike, when the mayor does head to court, he'll be headed here to the federal court for the Southern District of New York. Now, while that indictment remains sealed, we're taking a close look at how we got to where we are today and the multiple investigations involving members of his team. Here are just some of the faces of the people who have had their homes searched or their phones seized over the last year as part of multiple federal investigations. They're all closely connected to Mayor Eric Adams. From his police commissioner, Edward Caban, who resigned, to the man he appointed as head of schools, David Banks, who announced his retirement, to Banks's domestic partner, the mayor's first deputy mayor, Sheena Wright, and Mayor Adams' former head of fundraising, Brianna Suggs. They're all part of at least 3 separate but related federal inquiries. The first started back in November with Suggs, when the feds searched the mayor's former chief of fundraising's home. The FBI and U.S. Attorney aren't releasing any information about the investigations, but sources say they're looking into whether improper campaign donations were made to the mayor's 2021 campaign, and whether he received illegal donations from citizens or government officials in other countries. The mayor has maintained his innocence and has encouraged everyone to cooperate in the investigation. Other than that sealed indictment, no one else mentioned has been charged with the crime, and they all deny any wrongdoing. Now, meanwhile, there are multiple probes into possible public corruption in the city. Take a look. Other aspects of the investigation involve using personal relationships to get work with the city and other lucrative contracts. James Caban, the twin brother of former police commissioner Edward Caban, is accused of using his relationship in order to get work providing security to nightclubs. Commissioner Caban resigned, calling the investigation a distraction. They both denied any wrongdoing. And then a third probe involves the 3 Banks brothers. Terrence Banks launched a consulting firm to connect businesses to government leaders. Public records show some of those companies received millions of dollars in city contracts, even a personal meeting with his brother, the school chancellor. Plus, Philip Banks, deputy mayor for public safety, used to own a security company, a company which, after it was sold, was awarded a multi-million-dollar housing contract. They've said they've not been the targets of this investigation, and an attorney for Philip Banks has said he has 0 criminal liability. So we'll have to wait to see what happens once this indictment is unsealed and what happens in the days and weeks ahead. Reporting live this morning, Dan Crowell, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Dan, thank you. Among those calling for Mayor Adams' resignation this morning, his Democratic political rivals who have announced that they are running for mayor in 2025.
I think the right thing for him to do is step down so New York City can have a leader that's fully focused on the real problems that New Yorkers are facing every day.
We got to govern. We cannot have investigation after investigation that is going to paralyze the city. And that's why I believe he should resign.
Another candidate, State Senator Zelnor Myrie, said in part, quote, "We need a leader who is fully focused without distraction on the enormous challenges we face. A mayor under the weight of a serious indictment can no longer do that. And today I am calling on him to resign." And finally, mayoral candidate State Senator Jessica Ramos didn't specifically call for Adams' resignation, but says in part, quote, "Right now, New Yorkers feel frustrated and abandoned. This is above all else unforgivable. A new day for our city is long overdue."
And hours before news of the indictment even broke, Congress member Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez posted to social media calling for Adams to resign. She later reacted to news of the indictment.
Frankly, under this constant stream of scandal, I do not know if the city will be able to even name replacements for all of these resignations and vacancies at this point. And so it is a very unfortunate time. We do not want to see this happening in our city, but unfortunately it is. And I think for the best of the city, and so that we can continue to staff the administration of the city, it would be best for Mayor Adams to step aside.
It's not just politicians reacting. Some everyday New Yorkers are weighing in as well.
New Yorkers have a lot to say, especially about something like this. Reagan Medji live outside City Hall with that part of our reaction and coverage this morning. Reagan, what are they saying?
And as you can imagine, people waking up, some people are exactly shocked that this is going on. Other people not surprised. Now, it's a little sleepy down here near City Hall, but as the day goes on, I'm sure we're going to hear from many of you, the voters out there, just reacting and responding to the latest news that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted. So let's bring you back to exactly what's happening. Moments after news broke that Mayor Eric Adams was indicted on those federal criminal charges. Again, we don't exactly know what charges they are, but those charges are expected to be announced later today. The resounding message, as we just heard by several elected officials, is for him to resign. Some elected officials stopping short. But what do you, the voter, have to say? Now, we were able to speak to at least one man this morning on his way to work.
Any kind of crime is concerning, but, you know, we have to wait and see what happens. you know, what he's going to be charged with and if he's guilty. That's it.
Does this make you lose faith in our mayor?
Not really. I'm a person that tries to rather the process and see what the result is before I make any kind of indictment.
So as you see, we are standing outside of City Hall. The reason for that is because at 10 o'clock this morning, there's expected to be a gathering. And among the people who will be gathering, some of those who are planning to and have announced running against Mayor Eric Adams in the next election cycle, like City Controller Brad Lander and State Senator Jessica Ramos. So obviously, we're going to hear from them later on this morning. And many of you just waking up, tuning in and learning the news that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on federal charges. We're live here outside City Hall. Reagan Medji, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Reagan, thank you. We invite you to stay with Eyewitness News and ABC News as we follow what's next in this indictment. As we get new information on the exact charges and any other details in this federal case, we'll bring it to you on air and always online at ABC7NY.
Another big story this morning is Hurricane Helene, expected to make landfall along Florida's Big Bend area tonight. Some calling it life-threatening. Meteorologist Brittany Bell here now with the forecast.
And still projected to make landfall as a major hurricane later this evening. For us, closer to home, get ready for a cloudy and misty morning with patchy drizzle and temperatures in the 60s. And we'll see more rain later today. 66 degrees in Central Park. Let's get to the latest on satellite and radar. Mostly cloudy skies and now a few sprinkles and pockets of drizzle popping up across the boroughs. Most of that around Queens, moving towards western Nassau County and Hope, Chester, Warren. You even have a few sprinkles too, moving to the north and to the east. And get ready for a few areas of patchy dense fog. A lot of that is north and west of the city around New Jersey and the Hudson Valley, but we do have some pockets of fog forming too in the boroughs. Temperatures in the 60s at 68 in Belmar, 66 in Islip, and get ready for a temperature of 60 degrees in Poughkeepsie. Today will be muggy and warmer. We take these numbers into the 70s, topping out near 75 degrees. When it comes to our chance for rain, we have patchy drizzle this morning, but we'll have a few more showers forming later this morning throughout this afternoon, with most of the rain again falling north and west of the city. Helene, still a Category 1 hurricane, but very close to a Category 2 with max sustained winds near 90 miles per hour. That will make landfall later this evening as a high-end Cat 3 or a low-end Category 4 near the Big Bend area. More about the track as we head into this weekend coming up. Heather?
Okay, Brittany, will talk subway status first. 2 7D trains, delays and service changes, so expect some delays and changes. On the Van Wyck North at Northern Boulevard, you can see how heavy that traffic is. That is because of an accident. Then going up onto the Whitestone Bridge heading into Queens, look at how active this is. That is a crash that's being cleared away. This could be an alternate to the RFK Triborough Bridge. However, we still have issues at the RFK Triborough Bridge. Commuter alert continues here on the Bronx bound side of the span. Accident investigation. All lanes are closed to the Bronx. Queens bound 2 lanes are blocked off. So a very busy morning in the traffic department this morning. Street cleaning rules are in effect and it's a gridlock alert day. Mike, Charlene, over to you.
Heather and Brittany, thank you. 6:12 right now. Still ahead. Nina Pineda joins us in studio.
And if you're hungry for deals on Thanksgiving travel, now is the time to book. 7 on Your Side has your travel tips so you can keep your wallet stuffed.
Well, the airport in Tampa has been shut down. Speaking of travel, that's as the impending Hurricane Helene continues to bear down on Florida. ABC's Rena Roy on the ground for us with a live update coming up.
Hurricane Helene taking aim at Florida, expected to make landfall tonight as a Category 4 storm. I'm Rena Roy in Tampa, and I'll have the latest coming up.
Back now with a live look out of Tampa, Florida, ahead of Hurricane Helene's expected landfall as a major hurricane tonight. Now, you can see really the calm before the storm. You can see the clouds there, but nothing is what they're going to face in just a few hours.
Right. Evacuations in place, though, in at least 20 Florida counties. There are also states of emergency in Georgia and now North Carolina added to that, as well as Virginia.
Brittany's been talking about just the massive system this thing is going to grow into. People along the Florida coast preparing ahead of the storm, boarding up the windows, stocking up on all the essential supplies like generators and gasoline. Businesses like outdoor restaurants for it to shut down.
Yeah, powerful winds, that storm surge. ABC's Rena Roy joins us live from Tampa. And Rena, How is it looking there? We just saw a live camera shot. It looked like truly the calm before the storm.
Hey, Mike and Charlene, good morning to both of you. Yeah, that's right. It is the calm before the storm. I can tell you it's been raining a little bit off and on since early this morning. We're also starting to feel some wind gusts. Overall, though, as you said, pretty calm. That, of course, is expected to change as Helene moves in here in Tampa. And the main concern here is storm surge.
This morning, Hurricane Helene is on track to explode into a powerful storm before slamming into Florida today. High winds and heavy rain already hitting some areas like Marco Island. The storm first unleashing its fury on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, flooding streets and taking down trees in Cancun, and soon expected to make landfall on the eastern part of the Florida Panhandle, with winds up to 130 miles per hour and up to 2 feet of rain expected in some areas.
We all hunker down together and we make the best of it.
In the capital city of Tallahassee, more than 200,000 in the direct path, many getting out.
I got a bad feeling about this one. We've never taken that direct hit. If our community remains central in Helene's path as forecasted, we will see unprecedented damage like nothing we have ever experienced before as a community.
Storm surge could reach 20 feet, equivalent to a 2-story building. The National Weather Service calling it catastrophic and/or potentially unsurvivable. Mandatory evacuations have been ordered in at least 20 Florida counties. Extreme measures also taken at Tampa General Hospital.
This is what's called an aqua fence, a portable barrier that officials hope will help divert floodwater away from the hospital.
A big concern, power outages, which could extend well inland.
Still at Cat 1 overnight into early Friday. That's why we're worried about trees down, and we're talking trees into homes all over Georgia and North Florida.
Officials say 18,000 linemen are already strategically staged across Florida, and more are on the way.
And Tampa's airport closed just a short time ago ahead of the hurricane, and emergencies have been declared as far north as Virginia because of flooding concerns. Rena Roy, ABC News, Tampa.
Brittany, we've been talking all week about what we expect, and it seems like the storm surge forecast has now gotten even worse as we get closer to this landfall.
Yeah, so really want to emphasize that because that graphic showed 15 feet. It's now up to 20 feet for the Big Bend area, even for sections of Tampa up to 5 to 8 feet. On top of that, just heavy rainfall that could lead to dangerous flooding. So let's get right to it. This is the latest for Hurricane Helene. It has max sustained winds near 90 miles per hour, Category 1 now, but very close to Category 2 strength. That will likely turn into a Category 3 later this morning, projected to make landfall as a high-end Category 3, low-end Category 4 near Appalachia Bay. That could stay a Category 1 hurricane moving inland throughout Georgia, and that will make a loop as it fizzles out across the Tennessee River Valley this weekend. Back over to storm surge Tampa Bay. 5 to 8 feet, and then look at the Big Bend area, 15 to 20 feet. That includes Horseshoe Beach all the way down towards Crystal River, and dangerous flooding underway. 5 to 10 inches of rain is possible. Even some isolated areas closer to a foot of rainfall extending from Florida all the way into western North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. For us closer to home, get ready for some mist as soon as you head out. It's a misty, cloudy, and foggy morning. It just doesn't look great outside. Low-hanging cloud cover, low ceiling. Temperatures near 66 in Central Park, winds around 3 miles per hour. With this increase in moisture, we have some areas of patchy, dense fog forming. A lot of that is north and west of the city, so White Plains visibility down to 3 miles. The same in Montgomery, dropping to near Poughkeepsie, and that could slow you down this morning. Temperatures in the 60s. 64 in White Plains and Bridgeport. Good morning, 66 for you. And now we have a few areas of sprinkles developing on radar, some around Queens, and then more of the same near lower Westchester, pushing into western Fairfield County. Even a raindrop or two near Hope, Chester, Bernards. That's moving towards Troy Hills if that holds together. These are our main playmakers, at least for today and tomorrow. There's a warm front off to the south getting closer, this area of low pressure, and a cold front. Let's look at the timing. This morning, patchy drizzle possible, just damp as you step outside. And later this morning around lunchtime, we'll have to dodge a few showers. And once again, when it comes to the coverage, most of the rain that will fall north and west of New York City throughout this evening. Just a sprinkle or two possible throughout the overnight hours. Now tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We could have a stray sprinkle on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 60s and the lower 70s and slightly less humid. late Friday night into early Saturday. We'll tap into some of that moisture, the leftover moisture from Helene, and that will bring in scattered rain from south to north around the tri-state. Let's hope this verifies, because we do need that extra rain around central and southern New Jersey. That's where we have that low end drought. The bigger picture showing Helene fizzling out this weekend around the Tennessee and Ohio River Valley. We tap into some of that moisture, and that's why now this weekend it's not looking as sunny. We'll have more cloud cover and a chance for a shower to Saturday and Sunday, especially for areas south and east of the city. Today, 75, mostly cloudy, warmer and muggy. A few areas of rain, especially north tonight, 66. Tomorrow, 73, mostly cloudy, not as humid, but still watching out for a sprinkle or two. This weekend, mostly cloudy, temperatures near the upper 60s, lower 70s, spot rain, and then Monday into Tuesday, we stay near 70 to 71 degrees. Heather?
All right, Brittany, earlier this morning, I was talking about an accident that occurred in Goshen, New York. It was on 17 both ways between exits 122 and 122A. It was an accident investigation which involved a car and a tractor trailer. At this point, all lanes are reopened, but we do have video of that crash, and it looks like it was a very, very active scene earlier this morning. But again, all lanes have been reopened. That tractor trailer caught on fire. The car caught on fire. So it was a very busy morning in Goshen. But again, all lanes have been reopened on Route 17. Now let's head over here and talk to you about what's happening now. As you go onto the Van Wyck North at Northern Boulevard, we do have an accident. It looks like we have some activity also happening on the southbound side, and we have alternate side of the street parking rules in effect. It's a gridlock alert day. Please leave the car at home if you can. Shirlene and Mike, over to you.
Thank you. 622 still ahead. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu leaving Israel overnight for New York City, where he will address the UN General Assembly tomorrow. We know a massive anti-war protest is already planned for today.
And if you're hungry for deals on Thanksgiving travel, now is the time to book. 7 on your side, and Nina Pineda with the tips to help keep your wallet stuffed.
In this morning's GMA First Look, cruise ship rescue.
Basket is on deck.
This is the moment a Coast Guard crew rescued an 8-year-old boy off the coast of Northern California. Daniel G. Young was on a trip on board the Royal Princess with his family when they discovered he had appendicitis and urgently needed to get him to a hospital.
The doctor in the crew said the situation is very emergency.
The Coast Guard dispatching a medevac helicopter to the ship to get Daniel and his family. Watch here as one of the rescuers rappels down, retrieving Daniel first in a basket, his mom and his brother hoisted up right after.
I don't know how to describe, just unbelievable, still like dream.
And overnight, those brave rescuers telling their story to GMA.
It's a pretty incredible feeling.
It's a big win for everybody involved.
Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll hear more from those rescuers, Daniel and his mother, now safely on shore. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
With October right around the corner and the holidays quickly following, it is already time to look into those Thanksgiving flights. Can you believe that?
That is hard to wrap your head around. Trends from previous years, though, show that right now is the best time to lock in that lower airfare. 7 on your side's Nina Pineda says we're at a sweet spot to take advantage of this advanced window to save.
It's likely just to go up and up and up from here on out.
We sat down with travel expert Katie Nastro with the website Going, who advises take advantage of this sweet spot.
And so if you're targeting Thanksgiving, where a lot of people look to go away to visit family and friends, you're going to want to look to book by the end of September, skirting a little bit into October to, again, give yourself that last chance opportunity.
Flexibility is key if you're looking for a smooth ride. Don't travel on peak dates like the Wednesday before or the Sunday after Thanksgiving. That will help avoid any hiccups.
Don't just fixate on one airport. Sometimes some of the best deals that we find are sort of plug and play of driving to an alternate airport. For me, based on Long Island, sometimes I'll look at Newark. Even though it's a little bit farther out, I will look to see if there's a better deal from there.
And if you're worried about being locked into a price that might drop, be sure to book a ticket above basic economy. You may spend a little more, but we'll have some wiggle room.
After the fact, you can price watch that flight, and if it drops, you can call the airline, rebook to get that savings back in the form of credit to use in the future.
Our thanks to Nina Pineda. 627, and we continue to follow the historic breaking news of the morning. Mayor Adams, now the first sitting mayor in New York City to be charged with a federal crime. Coming up at 6:30, new reaction just into that indictment.
The chance for a few showers today for us. But the big weather story is in Florida, which is bracing for the impacts of a major hurricane. Brittany with the latest track and timing coming up.